We have audio? Yes. Sorry about that. Hi, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of the Coffee Club, the internet broadcast voice of commonsenseconversation.com's blog. Pour yourself a cup of coffee, relax, and get ready to enjoy this week's show after a word from one of our sponsors.
Hi folks, this is Justin from Catharsis of the Vogue blog at justinsbrainpan.com. Join me for an eclectic commentary on everything from kidney failure to fiction writing, all at justinsbrainpan.com.
Welcome back. I hope you're ready for another half hour of my punditry. But before we get started, let's do just a little bit of housekeeping. You'll notice I sound kind of funny this week. Probably look kind of funny too. I'm having some dental work done, and we're about halfway through. So I look and sound a little bit odd right now. But it'll be better next week. Hopefully it'll be all fixed by next week. And y'all are just going to have to put up with it. So, with that out of the way, let's get to it. I hope y'all are ready for another half hour of my punditry that is designed with one thing in mind. If you've seen this show before, you know the Coffee Club is designed to do one thing: to piss you off. That's the Coffee Club's reason for existing: to piss you off. To make you so angry about our government's actions regarding physical policies, actions regarding foreign policies, actions regarding an over-regulating and overbearing government, actions regarding the government's slow but sure destruction of our constitutional liberties. It's the purpose of the Coffee Club to make you so angry about those government actions and excesses that you decide to take some action. What kind of action do I want you to take? Am I proposing a takeover of the government? Well, in a way, yes. Not a takeover of the government through violent means. Not a takeover of the government through another American Revolution. But a takeover, or more accurately, a taking back of the government in a constitutionally allowed, actually a constitutionally encouraged manner, through public pressure on our elected officials. Pressure brought not just to the box every few years, but pressure brought monthly, or weekly, or even daily on elected officials at every level, federal, state, and local. At the federal level, make damn sure your congressional members, senators, and your representative hear from you on a regular basis, people. If you don't know who your representatives and senators are, well, first, shame on you. If you don't like the way our government's being run, the first thing you need to know is who to complain to, who to put the pressure on. You can bet that the special interests, like K Street lobbyists, union bosses, you can bet they know who to put the pressure on, and you need to know it too. Look over there in the right sidebar of commonsenseconversation.com. You see that little widget titled Find Your Congress Critter? Use it. All you have to do is type in your address, be sure you include your zip code, and click on the submit button. Nothing's going to be saved. No email addresses are going to be saved. You don't even put your email address in. No street addresses are going to be saved. All that's going to happen is you're going to get a name, a phone number, a fax number, and a link to their congressional webpage for your senators and your representative. Gives you a way right easy to get in contact with them. Use those addresses. Schedule a regular time every month or week or even every day if you have the time to either call their office to give your opinion, or to write them an email or a snail mail to give them your opinion. If you really want to make a big effort and a big difference, do like I do. I schedule 90 minutes every day for nothing except contacting my Congress critters. I got 90 minutes. That's all I do is write them letters or call them. If the coffee club show does an exceptional job of pissing you off, and I really hope it does, and if you're willing to get even more involved than calling and writing to your Congress critters, which I hope you do, I hope this show causes you to find a public appearance of your Congress for you to go attend a town hall meeting or something like that and ask tough questions. Hold their feet to the fire. If they voted on something unconstitutional, call them on it. Go say, you voted this way on this thing, and that the Constitution is not a constitutionally enumerated power of the government. Why did you vote that way? If they vote for spending that's outside of the authority of government, tell them to quit the damn unconstitutional spending. We might not be in the fiscal shape we were in if we spent money like the Constitution says. And by the way, tell them, don't ask them. We are their bosses, not vice versa. They work for us. They are our employees. When they go and vote for something that violates your rights, ask them if they've ever heard of the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. So what kind of red meat do I have for you folks today? What do I have that I hope will piss you off this week? Hang around through this word from one of our sponsors, and you'll find out. Talk to you in a minute.
Are you coasting toward retirement? Or are you already there and wondering if this is all there is? Maybe you settled for average so far, but in the home stretch of your life, you don't think that's good enough. Set your sights high and design your perfect day, then make it happen. Take charge and design your lifestyle. Stop by Ralph Carlson blog, www.ralphcarlsonblog.com, and learn how to take control of your life.
Well, we're back. Now, for the second week in a row, we're going to talk about impeachment. But this week, I'm going to lower my sights a little bit. Actually, I'm going to lower my sights way on down to floor level, or even below. Down to where the trash is. Because this impeachment target is trash. This target is pond scum. This target is human debris that is a waste of oxygen. This target is a lawyer. Wait a minute. Pond scum, human debris, waste of oxygen, lawyer. I owe y'all an apology. Sorry for the redundancies right there, folks. Anyway, this week's target of the Coffee Club's call for impeachment is the Obama administration's Attorney General, Eric Holder. Last week I told you folks that I thought Barack Obama was guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors sufficient to put him in danger of being impeached. Failure to uphold his sworn oath of office, among other things. And this week's target is even easier. Eric Holder is either incompetent to hold the office of Attorney General, or worse, and frankly what I believe, he's an out-and-out liar. He flat out lied to Congress, which is a crime punishable by the same criminal sentencing guidelines as perjury. And he's guilty, as one Arizona representative said, he's guilty of being an accessory to murder. Now, I'd say those two things, guilty of lying to Congress and guilty of being an accessory to murder, would pretty well qualify him for impeachment, wouldn't you? Lie to Congress, be an accessory to murder, and you're the Attorney General. I'd say that's enough to kick you out. Now, let me stop right here and address an accusation that you progressive myrmidons out there are going to make Because I called for Obama's impeachment last week and I'm calling for Holder's impeachment this week, you're going to say that makes me a racist, right? I want both of them impeached because they're black and I'm a racist, right? Well, the first problem I have with that accusation is that most folks who like to sling the term racist around don't even know what the damn word means. You think that I don't like Obama and Holder because they're black. And that makes me a racist, right? Well, besides the fact that I don't like them because they're corrupt, lying, socialist garbage, and I don't like their policies, not because they're black, besides disliking someone because of their race, is not racism. It's bigotry and prejudice, not racist. It's still bad, but it's far from racism. Racism is a belief that one race is genetically superior to the other, that one person is actually put together better by God because of their race. That's what racism is. Hitler's attitude toward the Jews would be a good example of racism. He thought that the Aryan people were genetically superior to Jews. That's racism. People that don't like blacks just because they're black, those are called bigots. That's called bigotry. And I'm not guilty of that either, but if you're going to sling the terms around, use the right terms. The second problem that I have with you race baiters throwing around that racist accusation is that you've overdone it. Every single time somebody disagrees with a black person, it's automatically classified as racist. It's like the little boy who kept crying wolf. Racism and the racist accusation has been overused to the point that it no longer carries any weight at all. Just like all the other ists and isms and phobes, they've been overused to the point that they don't mean anything. Here's how I'm going to deal with that. From now forward, here's how I'm going to deal with all that racism and phobic stuff and ism stuff. If you would rather call names and deal with facts about an issue, you got to pick the right day. You got to pick the correct day for the name that you want to call me. Now, today is Tuesday, and I'm talking about Eric Holder and impeachment. And if you want to disagree with me about Eric Holder today, you're going to have to argue facts, not play the race card. Why? Because I've got Tuesdays reserved for being a misogynist. If you want to call me a racist, you got to wait until Friday. Here's the schedule I'm going to stick to from now on for those of you who simply have no facts, who can't argue issues. You're so devoid of facts and issues that you have to call names rather than argue about the issues based on facts. Mondays are going to be reserved for my being an Islamophobe. On Tuesdays, today, as I said, is my day for being a misogynist. Now, if you want to call me a homophobe, you need to come back and see me on Wednesdays, because that's going to be my homophobic day. Now, if you think that my positions on aging issues, welfare, Medicare, Social Security, and all like that, if you think that's because I'm an ageist, instead of thinking that we can disagree on facts, well, for age-related issues, you need to come back on Thursdays, because that's going to be my day for ageism accusations. And like I said, if you want to do the race card thing, you come back on Fridays, because Fridays is going to be my race card day. You can call me a racist on Fridays. So, if you want to call names instead of arguing facts, stick to the schedule. And note that I take weekends off. On the weekends, I'm just a plain old ordinary redneck, so no titles along in there for each day. Anyway, let's get back to Eric Holder and why he needs to be impeached. First off, there's the matter of lying to Congress, which is punishable criminally, the same as perjury would be in a courtroom. Now, how did he lie to Congress? Well, in his committee's investigation of Operation Fast and Furious, I'm sure you all know about Fast and Furious by this point, Representative Darrell Issa, chairman of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, asked Eric Holder a very specific and simple question. Quote, when did you first know about the program, officially, I believe, called Fast and Furious? To the best of your knowledge, what date? Now let's stop right there. What date did you know about Fast and Furious? What date did you know about Fast and Furious? Well, Eric Holder's answer was, quote, I'm not sure of the exact date, but I probably heard about Fast and Furious for the first time over the last few. Now that's how Holder replied to Darrell Issa about 5 months ago. He had first heard of Fast and Furious over the past few weeks. Now, some documents have shown up that show the National Drug Intelligence Center began briefing Eric Holder about Fast and Furious, quote, in the documents, quote, starting at the latest on July 5th, 2010. Memos to Holder mentioned the operation by name and detailed that guns were being trafficked to Mexico. July of 2010, but 5 months ago, he said he had heard about it in the last few weeks. A week ago, on October 6th, Darrell Issa and Senator Chuck Grassley from Iowa released at least 5 weekly memos to Holder, beginning in July 2010, that provide updates on Operation Fast and Furious. Those memos lay out that the ATF and a number of agencies were investigating Phoenix area straw buyers who were, quote, responsible for the purchase of 1,500 firearms that were then supplied to Mexican drug trafficking cartels, oh, close quotes. But Attorney General Holder told Issa 5 months ago that he had first heard about Fast and Furious a couple of weeks before. These memos are from July of 2010. Now, you can dance around it all you want to. You can talk about misunderstandings, and you can talk about the truth being stretched. But the bottom line is, Darrell Issa asked, when did you know about it? Eric Holder answered, within the last few weeks. It turned out he knew about it over a year ago. And you know what that means? That doesn't mean that there's anything misunderstood or misrepresented or not exactly truthful. That means that Attorney General Eric Holder is a damn liar. And lying to Congress is a slam dunk impeachable offense. Period. Right there. Even if we don't look for any more reasons to go after Holder. But there's more. There's always more when you're talking about the Obama administration. They don't screw up once or twice. They just keep it on and on and on. What else is there? Well, there's that little matter of accessory to murder accusation by the Arizona congressman. Now, if you or I facilitated the purchase of guns illegally, by known criminals, knowing that the intended use of those guns by the end user was criminal activity, and then those guns were indeed used for criminal activity. Specifically, they were used to murder people. You and I would be arrested. You and I would be charged. And you and I would be convicted of being accessories to murder. Eric Holder and his minions have done exactly that. And they don't expect anybody to notice. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agent Hyman Zapata and Border Patrol Agent Brian Terry were killed with guns specifically purchased for criminal use. And those purchases were allowed, encouraged, and facilitated by Eric Holder's Department of Justice. That is accessory to murder. It's accessory for murder for peons like you and me, and it's accessory to murder for Eric Holder and his minions. That's just the way it is, folks. He's a damn liar, and he facilitated the murder of an ICE agent and a Border Patrol agent. Yep, that's what he did. We're going to take another break, and then we're going to come back and finish this thing up.
So let me get right to the point. If you wanna learn 3D or programming, AI or design, head over to my site, shadesofadream.com.
Alright, folks, have I pissed you off? Have I made you mad? Have I made you mad enough that you'll do something? Have I made you mad enough that you'll start calling your Congress critter and demand that the government starts responding to its obligations, responding to its citizens and not special interests? Mad enough to demand that Congress impeach, that the House of Representatives bring impeachment charges against Eric Holder? Mad enough that the Senate actually finds him guilty? Have I made you mad enough that you'll demand that Congress starts acting in a constitutional manner and holding the rest of government to the same standard? I hope so. I'll be back next Tuesday and every Tuesday at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Eastern with the Coffee Club. Right here live, and then it's up as a post on commonsenseconversation.com. Until then, remember 3 things that I leave you with every week. First of all, every single contact you have with every elected official should always end with you reminding them of one very important thing. We don't work for you. You work for us. Second, y'all have a fantastic week until we meet again next week. Third, that's easy and it's the same thing as every week. Y'all come back now. You hear?
Slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, where never lark or even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.